Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss the other causes of the French Revolution. I have already discussed one important cause of the French Revolution, that was the unpopularity of the French monarch Louis XVI. Right, this we have already done in the previous video. Now in this video I will be discussing other causes of the French Revolution. We have also discussed about the fall of Bastille, right, which was the immediate cause of the French Revolution. Now in this video we'll be discussing rest of the causes that led to the French Revolution, right. Now to understand the structure of the French society is very 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 important, because somewhere the divisions in the French society was responsible, and the rules according to the division was responsible for the widespread discontentment among the French people, especially among the common people. So let's try to understand the structure of the French society. It was, you can see this pyramid I have drawn. The French society was divided into three states. The topmost state was the first state belongs to clergy. Now clergy is a term used for the people of the royal family, especially to the people who were associated with the church. See, we are dealing with that time period, Middle Ages, medieval time of Europe, when the authority of church was so prominent that even the rulers of different kingdoms, they used to seek advice from the Pope. So religion used to play an important role in their lives. They never thought going against of church, so they have given undue importance to the church, and that is why many times the decision of the rulers were influenced by the church. So the first section of the society, French society, the topmost was the first state, that was of clergy. In this group, king, his royal family members, and the church, and the people associated with the church, they were belonging to the clergy group. Second state was of nobility. Now the important ministers or the nobles of the king belongs to this group, right. And the third state belongs to the peasantry group. Now as you can see, the broad base of this pyramid, this shows that the maximum population of the French society belongs to the third state. Now peasantry group, the third state, was divided into two parts. The lowermost strata of the French society, people like farmers, carpenters, shoemakers, artisans, they belongs to the lower strata of the society. And above them there was an emergence of a middle class in French society, those who were a bit educated, involved in other services, like they were doctors, they were traders, they were small businessmen. So there was a middle class in the third state, which is slightly better than the artisan and the peasantry class, right. So this structure of the French society, if you have understood this thing, you can see that the topmost state, very few people belongs to this state, right, and they were the ones who were ruling the society. This the entire there is a term called old regime used by historians to describe the old institutions and society of France before 1789. 1789 was the year when the revolution took place, right. So before revolution, this was the structure of France, French society, and such kind of division in the French society is described by the historian as old regime. Many times question comes on old regime. What do you understand by term old regime, right. So you should know that is the old institutions and the old society of France before revolution is termed as old regime by historians. So that is clear. Now in this society, only the third state people were paying taxes. The first two state people were exempted from paying any kind of taxes. Especially the first state people, they were from the high class, and they believe that they are meant to be ruled. They are born to rule the nation, right? So these two states were not paying any taxes. Rather, the burden of these two states were on the shoulders of the third state people. So the entire pressure of revenue was on peasantry class. So that is why the peasantry class, the third state people, they resented this fact. Why they were the only ones who were paying taxes? Why can't the king understand their problem, right? And moreover this, extra taxes were levied on the peasantry class. Like the two popular tax were, one is tail. This tax was taken by the state. The third state people were expected to pay this tail tax to the state. And there was a tax called theats. This tax was expected to be given to the church. So on one side, the king was taking taxes from the people just to fulfill his luxuries, and on another side, church also used to take tax from the third state people, from the common people, right? So this was the status of a peasantry class in the French society. Now, beside these facts, one important fact was that 90% of land was under church and nobility class. Now 90% of France land was in the control of church and nobility class. Means the first two states were controlling the maximum land, and the third state people, they were having only 10% of land with them. They were the actual tiller of the land, but still they don't have their own lands, so they used to work on the lands of nobility and church, and for that also they were paying taxes. Whatever they produce from the land, they used to give a major share of that produce as a tax to the church or the nobility class, right? So this was the condition, and they left with very few their amount, their share was very less. They hardly meet their needs, right? So this was the condition. The peasantry class, the third state people, were overburdened by the taxes. Now this setup was one reason, and this was the reason for the discontentment among the common people in France. So, they only see clergy and nobility group as a burden on the society, right? Another reason, which is a very prominent one again, this was the time period when subsistence crisis took place in France, right? 17 from 1715 to 1789, there was a tremendous increase in the French population. In 1715, from 23 from 1715 to 1789, the increase in the population, French population, was threefold, right? And this was the time period when subsistence crisis took place. Subsistence, first of all, we'll try to understand the subsistence crisis. What does this mean? It is a situation when people don't get the basic things that they require for their survival. It is in the layman language I am explaining. The exact definition of the subsistence crisis is when the basic means of livelihood is in danger. Such a situation is called subsistence crisis. So let's see how the basic means of the livelihood were in danger. So try to understand from this chart that this was the time period when there was an increase in population. When there was an increase in population, there was more demand of food, but due to bad harvest, due to poor weather condition leads to bad harvest in France, resulted into the scarcity of grain. खाने की समस्या होने लगी. There was a reduction in the production of the grain. Then since the scarcity of grain was there, whatever the grain is available in the market, there was a rise in food prices. Their prices increased, right? And this, in this situation, the poor can no longer buy bread. Those who were the poorest of the poor in the society, they were not in a condition to afford the bread at that time. Then such a situation leads to two things. Either they were fighting for food. People started fighting, they were started stealing food from the stores or shops, and there were riots taking place in the country for food. Another thing that happened, that due to lack of proper food, the people, they became weaker, right? Weaker bodies, and weaker bodies are more prone to diseases and epidemic, right? Because they don't have the capacity to fight against the diseases. They fell ill easily, right? And this resulted into the increased number of deaths. Even if there were food riots taking place in the France, this also resulted into the increased number of deaths in France. So this was the situation that was prevalent in 1789, when there was more demand of food, and due to bad harvest, the food production declined, could not meet the demand of the population, resulted into the food riots, and people who were not getting the food, the poor section of the society, they were not getting the food, they became weaker, they became more prone to diseases, and ultimately it resulted into the increased number of deaths in France, right? So this was the condition of subsistence crisis in France at that time when the revolution took place. So this again led to widespread and discontentment, dissatisfaction among the common people, because the King Louis XVI was least bothered to solve these problems. He was least bothered to know about the problems of the people, right? Another important reason that I am going to discuss here is role of philosophers in the French Revolution. Now we know French Revolution, we give importance to French Revolution because through this revolution many new ideas emerged, like equality, liberty, justice. These ideas became the base for the modern day democracies that we see in different nations, right? Later these ideas developed into the concept of democracy. So they were the ones, the philosophers were the ones who gave these ideas. Now let's talk about some prominent philosophers and their writings which inspired the people not only in France but across the world, right? So one prominent name is John Locke, or you can say John Locke. He wrote two theses of government, and in this book he criticized the divine rights of monarch. He criticized the privileges which are given on the basis of birth to the nobility and the clergy class. Whatever the privileges these two class people were enjoying, they were solely based on their birth, not on the basis of the merit they were having, right? So he criticized that such rights, such privileges should be banned, and no one deserves such rights. Even they are normal humans, they should be equal to other people. So such rights were criticized by John Locke in his book Two Theses of the Government. Another prominent name is Rousseau. Now Rousseau wrote a book called The Social Contract, and as the name suggests, social contract. In this book he described the kind of government that is required in every nation. A contact is required between the ruler and the ruled. The ruler should know the problems and the needs of his people, right? He should rule according to the will of the public, right? So this kind of social contact is required in every nation. So this idea was promoted by Rousseau in his book called The Social Contract. Now, talking about Montesquieu, another important name, he wrote the book called The Spirit of Law. Now, in this, he emphasized on the principle of separation of powers. See, France had already witnessed the rule under a monarch, under a despot, and they know that the king despots were rulers who were least bothered about their public. So he opposed the idea that powers, all the powers should not be given to one person. If given, then the person might use these powers or misuse these powers. He will use it for his own benefit, not for the benefit of the public. So what he emphasized, that there should be separation of power. Instead of giving all the powers to one person, elected bodies should rule the nation. People should elect their leaders, representatives, and these representatives again will work in different organs like the legislature, executive, and judiciary. Now, the legislative part or legislature will work to form the laws, and executive part of the government will require to implement those laws, and the judiciary part of the government should look after whether the decisions, whether the laws are framed are in favor of public and society or not. So this kind of division is required in a nation. This will help in smooth running of the government, and this will avoid giving all the powers to one particular person. Right? So this idea was propagated by Montesquieu in his book The Spirit of Law. Right? So these ideas inspired the people of France. This was the time period in the 15th century the invention of printing press took place, and due to the help of with the help of printing press, these ideas, these modern ideas spread very quickly in the French society. People used to read these ideas. Those who were educated, they used to read these ideas loudly so that even the illiterate people can understand. In the public places like saloon, cafe, they were having the people in groups, they used to discuss these ideas. So they draw their inspiration from these ideas, the writings of these philosophers, and somewhere they understood this thing, that if they want to end their phase of miseries, then they need to be united, and they need to overthrow their despot, and they should bring a change in the society, right? So these were the conditions in which the common people in France, they were against, they became quite against their own despot, right? So these were the prominent reasons for the French Revolution. Quickly recapitulating all the points. First reason was the Louis XVI despot. This despot was very unpopular among the people due to various reasons. He was extravagant by nature, he was immature and inexperienced, he was least bothered about his public. Then he supplied all the finances to the 13 American colonies, and the entire royal treasury became empty, and as a result of which he started imposing taxes on the third state people. Now, second reason was the structure of the French society, the division of the French society into first state, second state, and third state. The two topmost state, the clergy group and the nobility group, they were the ones who were not paying taxes, and only the third state people were paying taxes. So the burden of clergy and nobility class was on the shoulders of the peasantry class. Now, one more thing, 90% of the land was controlled by clergy and nobility class. So the peasantry class was not, most of the people were not having their own land. They used to work on the lands of clergy and noble people, and for that they were supposed to pay heavy rents to them. So this was the condition of the peasantry or the third state people in France. So they resented this fact. Then this was the time period when subsistence crisis occurred in France. There was a tremendous increase in the French population. This leads to high demand of food, but due to bad harvest, due to poor weather condition, there was a decline in the food production. This leads to scarcity of grain. Then there was an increase of the food prices. The poor people cannot afford the food at that time. This leads to food riots at various places in France. People were fighting for food. This also resulted in the weaker bodies. People who were not getting enough food, they became weaker, more prone to disease and epidemics, and both these reasons led to the increased number of deaths in France. So again they blamed for this situation, they blamed their ruler was responsible because he was not able to fulfill the demands of the people. Then a prominent reason was of role of philosophers. John Locke, he wrote the two theses of the government and criticized the divine rights of the monarch. Then Rousseau wrote the social contact. He emphasized on the fact that a contact is required between the ruler and the ruled people, right? So that the ruler should be aware of their needs and aspirations. Then Montesquieu, he wrote the spirit of the law, and he emphasized on the idea of not giving powers to one person, rather dividing the power among the legislature, executive and judiciary bodies, which are elected by the government. Now these were the reasons which led to the French Revolution. There was another important reason for French Revolution, that was the role of the middle class. I've told you the third state peasantry class was divided into two groups. So the upper section of the third state, they were literate, they were educated, they were involved in the various activities, like they were doctors, they were teachers, they were traders, small business people. So they used to travel from one place to another, and since they were literate, they were inspired by these ideas, and they were the ones who infused these ideas into the illiterate section of the peasantry class. So the emergence of the middle class actually proved to be a backbone of the third state people, and they stood for the rights of third state people, right? So these were the reasons for the French Revolution. Now based on this lecture, I'm going to give you few questions. Please note down the questions, and then you are supposed to do it. My first question is, define term old regime. First question is, define term old regime. Second is, define term subsistence crisis. My third question is, why the third state people were against nobility and clergy class. My fourth question is, which two taxes were taken by the state and church in France? Next question is, what was the role of philosophers in French Revolution? My next question is, which classes land in France before revolution? So these are the questions that you are supposed to do. Please like, share and review this, and please subscribe the channel. Thank you.